Hey friends, it's Renee Bradshaw. I'm doing a Right Path reading, someone for business, and she asks, should she seek partnership or should she proceed in her own side hustle efforts? So right now we're going to do Right Path, and then I've got pros and cons for both side hustle alone and partnership. So I went ahead and shuffled and dealt the cards already just because it makes it better for time constraints on the video. So here we have so we have a little bit of mixed energy, and then we have some major arcana. So let's get into this here. The Eight of Chalices. This is kind of where you are now. It's a lot of like researching, studying, figuring things out. There's a lot more to this than you realized. I feel like you know, you're creating whatever this is, the project that you're working on, the small business, or you know, if you're selling you know, like a MLM, or you're creating things to sell, you know, or you're writing, you know, whatever this is, you know, there's that part to it which I feel like you're very strong in. The actual creation of it, itself, you're good to go. You have the patience, the determination, the know-how to do that. However, it's the rest of the business that I feel like is where where you're having to do the research, and a lot of that is kind of it can be a little overwhelming at times. You understand, you know, you understand that there are all these different concepts, and you're trying to organize, focus, and create your journey here. You know, be all these people to your business: your accountant, your manager, your social media manager, your the actual creator, the you know, the person who answers the phone, schedules appointments, you know, everything that goes into this, you know, whatever does go into your side hustle, you're trying to research and kind of create a way to do that all yourself. Now, that can be very overwhelming. It can feel like at times you're not really getting anywhere. I feel like a lot of times you'll get to a point and you realize you've done all this paperwork wrong. You have to back up, or there's a different way to do it, or there's an easier way, and you just spent all this time doing this really long way, but the easier way costs another $200 to download this software and do this, you know. So I feel like there's a lot going on right now for you mentally, and that makes sense, but it's kind of weighing you down, like emotionally. Because what's interesting is, even though this is a card about, you know, learning and studying and stuff, it's the Chalices card, which is like emotional. So I do feel like there's this emotional connection for you about having this business all to yourself, this really creating and being able to do it. I feel there's like a sense of pride, you know, like a good sense of pride connected to being able to accomplish all these different goals. I feel like there was like probably some years of aimlessness. There were years of bopping around here and there, perhaps starting different businesses or looking at MLMs and things like that, or focusing on, you know, building a career in this direction, and then realizing emotionally it's horrible for you, or financially it's going nowhere and you're going to go spear off into this direction. So I feel like there's all that. Your mind and your emotions are definitely coming together better than they used to, but there's still like a lot to process, a lot to learn, and especially when you're trying to do all the different parts of your business. So like I said, I feel like the actual creation or collection, whatever it is, the side hustle itself, whatever that is, the biggest focus you're really good at. It's very natural to you, but the other parts of it, it's all very much a juggling and balancing and learning act. Where you're currently headed is this reversed Seven of Pentacles. So upright, you know, we've got this blonde Snow White looking creature, and she is you know, collecting fruit from the harvest, basically. Like, you know, and she's spent all this time growing and now she's collecting. Well, where you're going, I feel like, is a lot of this up and down kind of energy. Like, sometimes you're collecting, sometimes you're like, oh crap, I gotta start back from this point again. So definitely here I see like a lot of coming up, like there's going to be a moment where something you've realized you've kind of been doing wrong. You've been kind of moving. It's not like the whole path is wrong. It's just like one little part of it. Like one part of the sidewalk on this path is wrong. Like maybe there's this form you were filling out this way and you should have been doing this form over here. There's some part of this that you're going to realize you have to start over again. And I feel like things are also going to get really frustrating, and I kind of feel like you're going to maybe even get annoyed to the point where you want to step back from the business. And I feel like the fact that you're already looking into partnership, or I don't know if you've been looking into it, but mentally and emotionally, it's become an option, or else you wouldn't be asking for this reading. So there's the partnership. I feel like is putting, this is where some of that idea is coming from, is definitely the, this kind of thing, all this juggling and having to do everything. Obstacles in the path, the death, no one's going to die. So, this is definitely, working on this side hustle. I feel like, parts of it are going to, kind of fall apart, and like I've been saying, like I've been feeling as I'm doing the reading, you're going to have to reevaluate and find different ways to do things. There are people out there that already kind of have had experience in different parts of this, different parts of the business, and those are people that would probably work really well with you, and I see that in the next card here. But there's going to be a lot of feeling like you can go this way and then turning out to go that way, or whichever way the fish swims. So a lot of continuous process changing. So a lot of it's good. As part of building a business, as part of understanding, especially if you want to do everything yourself, part of that is going to be moving along how you think it should go, and then finding out, other ways are easier or smarter or more organized or quicker. And that is part of life. That is part of everyone's life. Even when we're not looking at business, there are times, we feel like this is we do laundry on Mondays, and then we find out like, oh, we're going to start waitressing on Monday nights, so we do laundry on Tuesdays. All this, different things. Like, we are constantly moving and changing and reorganizing and replanning how we do our lives. That's completely natural. But I feel like a lot of that is going to be kind of disheartening or frustrating for you. And I feel a lot of that is because you are emotionally tied to this part of this business or whatever you're doing that you are amazing at. Like, you excel so much at it. It is part of you. And I feel because of that, you're emotionally tied to all this. So when things are getting frustrating or annoying, it's going to be very easy to really kind of break you down, really kind of hurt you, send you kind of, instead of taking, your time building, you're going to see like success stories out there, and you're going to think, I should be that fast. It should just happen. A lot of success stories leave out, we see a paragraph on it, we miss all the years of hard work and frustration. And a lot of those people that are extremely successful, they have some kind of team behind them, some kind of help behind them, or spiritual connection, something that helps them feel connected to the universe and look forward. And I feel like that's definitely something the guides are impressing that you need in your life is, spiritual growth. Like, whether you go to churches, or if you do meditation, if you do spell work, or just go outside and put your feet in the dirt, and be close to nature. There's something that you need to do to constantly refuel yourself, or else you're not going to make it past these moments. Because I feel that emotional ball, which is good, we should be passionate about what we do, and that really creates these amazing businesses. But a lot of parts of the business are not about passion, they're just about structure and having to do them. So I feel like an end to the way you do things several times, and where you're headed, the Hierophant, I do see eventually you entering into a partnership. We are again going to go over pros and cons here in a minute, but I see the guides are really impressing the partnership with a person who is knowledgeable, who knows what they're doing, clear, clear contracts at the opening, even if you know they're your best friend since kindergarten or your twin sister. Like this clear contracts are always helpful. It helps there be no hurt feelings. It helps down the road if there's a problem. You know, it helps that someone can't just step out. But I do feel like that you're gonna really meet someone, or you already know this person that you're thinking about partnering up with, and they are like this amazing person, and I don't feel like they're gonna try to screw you over or that you're gonna try to screw them over. But the guides just always impress contracts, you know, and you can write your own contract or find them online, I think. But yeah, just ways to make what you're going in to in the very beginning, like you still want to hold this part, you want to do this is your section here, you know, and you want them to help you with these other parts, and that's what they're there for. Contract, very clear language, and these can be, you know, rewritten over time. But contracts are not there to be like these horrible, rude implications of non-trustworthiness. That's a lot of words, but they are there to protect everyone. And when we talk about getting into business with a friend, a current coworker, a relative, it is really there to protect that relationship as well, so we don't lose it. I do see that the guides are indicating that's where you're going, and that's where the pros and cons, or like where the best pro is for you, just because of that emotional connection to what you create. There's always free will. You know, it's not this lazy river that we get on and we have to follow. It is free will. So there are pros and cons to look at, and that's what we're going to do. So you know, even though the guides are impressing partnership, will be a good way for you if you hear the pros and cons and something clicks inside, and for you it feels right to do to go it alone for a while longer or forever. You know, maybe that is your true path, and that the guides just wanted you to know it's going to be easier this way, emotionally better this way, but there may be growth for you. There may be a reason why you choose to do it another way, things clicking better. So first we have the pro of going it alone. Oh, it's the Hermit card. This is one of my favorite cards. This is, you know, self-retreat and finding answers within yourself. So right here, it is so easy to see why this is a pro for not having a partner. Like, any decisions are up to you, which, you know, there is some of that can be scary, but a lot of it is great, because that means the business is truly yours. The creation, everything that goes into it is truly yours. There's no person to argue with, to discuss with, to make bullet points to. It's just you and your internal feelings and what you know and feel like is right. And on the same hand, the con, you know, pro and the con, it's two very different visuals. This Wands, right? 7 of Wands. So this is very much everything is up to you. So if there's a problem, you only have yourself to go to. You are you know, the entire business, the entire side hustle is revolving around you. This is something that if there's a financial issue, if there's a legal issue, you know, these are things that fall back to you to completely understand and decide what you're going to do. I mean, I'm sure you'll still have friends and guides and mentors in your life, but, you know, this is decisions that you've made that are always going to be your decisions. So, and then, of course, I feel like that whole juggling again, like, you know, creating the charts, the data, the information, like all of that is on you, and it's all you that you have to convince. So there's going to be times where it's like you'd rather just focus on the creation. You know, you're highly inspired to do something, to work on something, but you have to do all the business stuff and there's no one else to help. There's no one else that can pick up the slack or do the other 50% of, and it's all you. So very much here, it's amazing to see those two cards. Very much the pro and the con of being by yourself. Yeah, so that's something you'd have to really focus on and decide if, you know, everything falling on your shoulders is worth you being able to create the entire brand and do everything yourself. And then we have the partnership. So the pro is strength. Well, that's pretty awesome right there. Again, I wonder if, yeah. So both of your pro cards are major arcana cards, and and then I'm noticing that the second part of the first half of the reading were, I'll get back to that in a second, sorry, were both major arcana cards as well. These are your huge universal lessons, your spirit guides directly, strongly working in your life. So there are definitely pros and cons that we're looking at that are, well, literally very strong. So strength, you know, you're not going to have to rely entirely on yourself to do this business. With the partner, you'll have someone that can help you. You know, you won't be pulling all-nighters by yourself. You'll have someone there who's taking, you know, 50-50, and sometimes they're taking 80 and you're taking 20 and vice versa. There's someone to fall back on. And I feel like overall the guides are indicating that'll make your business a lot stronger, succeeding a lot more, and something that you're going to want to do much longer term. And then we have the con, which we have the Knight of Chalices. A lot of that, is it Knight or Knave? Knight of Chalices. A lot of that dreamy imagination kind of energy here. With that being a con in this situation, I feel like having a partner is kind of going to take a little bit of that away from you, or it's going to, you know, if there's times that you want to just kind of go off into your imagination and start creating and figuring out things, whatever it is that you're creating, whatever you're working on, if you just want to kind of figure it out in your mind by using fantasizing, you know, they're going to really kind of keep pulling you back down to earth, you know, and reminding you that this is a business. The feet need to be plopped on the ground. You can keep one foot up, but one foot always needs to be on the ground, rooted into the earth. And I feel like at times this can be disheartening, but at other times I feel like this con is actually kind of a pro, because I'm not sure what your job or your side hustle is, but I keep getting like artistic vibes here. I may have seen that on your question or your profile. I don't have my computer open right now, but I think maybe that's why I'm getting artistic vibes, or maybe that's a hobby of yours that's starting to open up. But I feel like sometimes as an artist, as a creator, you do want to kind of float away, and really let the universe speak to you and kind of see what comes, what flows from inside of you. But at other times, it is good to be reminded, you need to stay rooted, stay grounded, keep a foot, you know, keep reminding yourself, yes, it is a creative business, but it's still a business. Yeah, so I feel as though the guides have been really giving me a lot of strong indication that that partnership would be the way to go for you for right now. This is something that, you know, one day down the road you can always change, but I really feel like they keep telling me this is what's going to make you happy. It's the longest success for your business. However, I always remind you, you have free will. This is your decision to make. These are just this is just information I'm getting from the guides. Information for you to take. Here we go. Information for you to take and add to your bag of tools and tricks, basically, when you make your final decision on what you're going to do. I am sure that I don't pick up the vibes that you're the kind of person who would just listen to me here and be like, okay, she said this, so that's what I'm going to do because she said my guides tell her that. tell me that. But I don't get that from you. But I'd still always like to remind people of this. This is your decision to make. The guides are simply outlaying some information that can help you make your decision, kind of give you a more well-rounded, balanced approach with a little bit of further information. But ultimately, you have free will, and this is your decision to make. So yeah, I hope that reading is helpful, and I hope you're able to move forward and kind of make your decision using some of this to help guide you along. I feel a really strong presence from your guides here today, and I can always tell that because my mouth was going like a mile a minute. So I feel like that was a lot of channeled energy today. But yeah, so I hope you have a really blessed weekend, and good luck with whatever decision you decide to make. All right, bye.